Wouldn't it be great if you could ask your data anything at any time? Like, how are sales this quarter? How's the new marketing campaign performing? What does the overall health of the company look like? And actually get answers right away with charts and graphics and actionable information. You can with Domo's AI and data products platform. Domo lets you channel AI and data quickly, securely, and innovatively to deliver measurable insights wherever and whenever you need them. Anyone on your team can use Domo to easily prepare, analyze, visualize, automate, and distribute data, all amplified by AI. Domo goes beyond productivity. It's designed to transform your processes, helping you make smarter and faster decisions and drive real growth. All powered by Domo's trust, flexibility, and years of expertise in data and AI innovation. The world's best companies rely on Domo to make smarter decisions. See how Domo can help transform yours. Learn more at ai.domo.com. That's ai.domo.com.
The Agile Brand.
Welcome to Season 6 of the Agile Brand, where we discuss marketing technology and customer experience trends, insights, and ideas with enterprise and technology platform leaders. We focus on the people, processes, data, and platforms that make brands successful, scalable, customer-focused, and sustainable. This is what makes an Agile brand. I'm your host, Greg Kihlstrom, advising Fortune 1000 brands on MarTech, marketing operations, and CX, best-selling author and speaker. The Agile Brand Podcast is brought to you by TEKsystems, an industry leader in full-stack technology services, talent services, and real-world application. For more information, go to teksystems.com. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that my latest book, Priority is Action: 7 Principles for Better Strategies, Decisions, and Outcomes, is now available. In it, I give ideas and insights for leaders and teams that need to make meaningful progress on their priorities. After all, our priorities are what we do, not what we say we'd like to do. You can find Priority is Action on Amazon or learn more on my website, gregkihlstrom.com. Now let's get on to the show. Welcome to a special episode of the show brought to you by the Office of Experience, a design-driven, digital-first, vertically integrated, and collaborative agency that believes in the power of ideas and the strength of people. In today's episode, we explore the fascinating intersection of branding and business strategy through the lens of a recent project between Blackbaud and the Office of Experience. We're joined by Lori Poer, Senior Director, Global Brand at Blackbaud, and Nigel Dennis, Group Creative Director at the Office of Experience. Lori and Nigel, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, looking forward to talking with you both about this. So, Lori and Nigel, could you each share a little bit about your roles and how this collaboration between Blackbaud and the Office of Experience came about? And Lori, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, sure. So before I share about my role in this collaboration, let me just take a step back and introduce Blackbaud. So even if you've never heard of Blackbaud before, if you're listening to this podcast, or Greg, Nigel, I'm confident that we've already helped you do something good, because we power the infrastructure of generosity and connection that drives social impact. So when you make a donation to a cause you care about, or participate in a fundraising event, or contribute to your alumni fund, or do workplace giving or volunteering, our software is there under the surface supporting those experiences. And so as a leading provider of software for social impact, we also feel really passionate about equipping the folks who make this work happen. So the fundraisers, the CSR pros, the grant makers, the nonprofit finance leaders. And one of the ways that we do that is through the Blackbaud Institute, which is a research lab at Blackbaud that provides free data-driven research to the social impact sector. And so we've been working with Office of Experience for about 3 years on the Blackbaud brand more broadly and on our digital presences. So when the opportunity came up to kind of reinvigorate the Blackbaud Institute's online presence and visual identity, it was just a no-brainer to reach out to Office of Experience to help us.
Yeah, and Greg, as the group creative director here at OX, work with a team of designers and writers, UX architects and designers to make sure that we're not only bringing about innovative work and thoughtful work, but work that matters to our clients, work that is that embodies what their goals are and stays true to their brand. There's a lot of subjectivity when it comes to branding, but we wanted to make sure that in our relationship with Blackbaud and having the legacy knowledge that we had up to this point, being good stewards of the existing brand, where could we go with the institute, knowing what the goals of the project were, what were the opportunities there, and where could we push the envelope, knowing what we knew about the existing brand, and again being those good stewards of the brand. Where was the opportunity there? So really, really collaborative process. And I've been with OX since last summer, and I've been a part of the Blackbaud work since I got here. So it's been a real pleasure seeing the brand evolve.
Great, great. Well, yeah, looking forward to having this conversation with both of you then. So let's get started and, just dive into the project here. So, refreshing Blackbaud Institute's digital presence. The goal, obviously, to provide some innovation while still maintaining the essence of the brand. So, Lori, can you talk a little bit more about the goals for the new digital presence and, how you ensured that they aligned with Blackbaud's broader business strategies?
Yeah, so the goal of the Blackbaud Institute is to give research and resources to professionals who are on the front lines of social impact. And these are people who are doing a ton of work. They are super busy. They really need context to get their jobs done well. And we want to provide that to them. And so in order for the site to be effective, it immediately needed to come across to our audience that we are a credible source of research about the topics they care about, and that this research is accessible and free. So much of the research in our sector is behind paywalls or resources that you need to a paid subscription to access. But everything the Blackbaud Institute puts out is free and available to the public. And so it was really important to us to show up in a way that demonstrated that this is a credible, trustable source for research, and then just to make it simple to access what you're looking for when you get to the site, and be able to download those resources quickly. And then with this updated and streamlined web presence, I think we're doing that a lot more clearly.
Yeah. So then following those goals, can you talk a little bit about, what exactly was created for the project? The website's available and we're going to link to it in the show notes so everybody listening can take a look at it. But, talk us through some of the key elements of it.
Sure, yeah. So when we came to Office of Experience, what we were looking to do was to refresh both the web experience, so our nav and our user experience on the site, even the way that you access the content and download it. And it was also about developing a distinctive brand identity for the Blackbaud Institute. It had been many years since that brand identity had been refreshed. It was ready for an update. And so we worked with OX both on that new visual identity and on the strategy for the website.
Yeah, and when I think about the elements that make up the experience, not only did we want to sort of elevate Blackbaud as that trusted voice, that Lori talked about, taking what we knew about the brand and elevating it to a potentially new place, bringing forth that trust through design as much as possible with some liberties being taken there. It needed to be incredibly simple, and I think you'll see that when you visit the experience itself. It is incredibly simple, and the information that you're looking for is exactly where you'd expect it to be. As you're going through the experience, as you look at the navigation, there's two items in the navigation: research and about. And really, that's what we want to focus on. The homepage really gets to the heart of what the institute is offering, but also provides pathways to that information directly. So, what I think about the elements that make up the experience, simplicity and elegance, I think are really the key takeaways for the overall experience.
Yeah. And so since this project was aimed at pushing boundaries while staying true to the brand, I know you touched on this a little bit, but can you explain how the team approached this challenge of kind of both of these things at once? What innovative elements were introduced to inject some fresh energy into the brand?
hmm Yeah, I think starting with UX and thinking about the simplicity of the experience and what we were trying to accomplish at that experience level. drove us first and foremost. What sort of patterns could we potentially repurpose from the Blackbaud design system as it exists right now? And I think you'll see that as you go through the experience or the institute experience, you'll see some repurposed components and different design patterns. That's on purpose. We don't necessarily want to reinvent the wheel when it comes to every aspect of the brand. But when we started to look at the visual design, we started looking at the presence. We were kind of cultivating. We were looking for those moments where we could push. We are looking for those moments where application of color could be slightly different. We think about that elegance and sort of that being that trusted partner, being that authoritative voice. A richer, darker experience, something that was a bit more engaging, a bit more just visually immersive. Right? We don't want it to be heavy, but how can we make it feel like it's a robust and rich experience doing that visually? So we looked at those elements. We looked at elements of typography and color, and looked where we could potentially challenge what was being done within the Blackbaud brand. And really, the reason it was successful and the reason why we were able to get where we got was because of the collaboration we had with the Blackbaud team, making sure that we were sort of in lockstep with every decision we were making and every sort of calculated step that was taken. We were in alignment. So, no surprises on any end. And we were able to create a very rich experience, making sure that we do introduce some fresh energy into the brand, and while also feeling familiar. There's a delicate balance there.
Wouldn't it be great if you could ask your data anything at any time? Like, how are sales this quarter? How's the new marketing campaign performing? What does the overall health of the company look like? And actually get answers right away with charts and graphics and actionable information. You can with Domo's AI and data products platform. Domo lets you channel AI and data quickly, securely, and innovatively to deliver measurable insights wherever and whenever you need them. Anyone on your team can use Domo to easily prepare, analyze, visualize, automate, and distribute data, all amplified by AI. Domo goes beyond productivity. It's designed to transform your processes, helping you make smarter and faster decisions and drive real growth. All powered by Domo's trust, flexibility, and years of expertise in data and AI innovation. The world's best companies rely on Domo to make smarter decisions. See how Domo can help transform yours. Learn more at ai.domo.com. That's ai.domo.com.
And so I'd love to maybe even take a step back or look at this at a higher level as well. And certainly, this project and this collaboration is a great way to frame this, but want to talk about, aligning branding with business strategy and just how branding and business strategy work together and align for the enterprise. So Lori, why don't we start with you? Can you discuss how does an organization like Blackbaud view alignment of branding and business strategy, and how critical is this alignment to your overall objectives?
Yeah, I love this question because it's, I think, the thing I get up each workday and think about. How do we bring our brand's promise to life in a really differentiated way through our brand? And, when I think about our market, customers in our market really have a choice to make when they're looking for software. They can choose to purchase kind of general software that was not designed specifically for the workflows of a nonprofit, and try to make that general software work for their needs. Right. Or they can purchase purpose-built software with expertise built in that was created specifically for their needs. And that's what Blackbaud offers. And that's what really differentiates us, is that expertise that's integrated into our software. And I share this background because that's one of the reasons that it's so crucial for us to show up immediately as a source of expertise, because that's one of the differentiators of how we actually come to market. And something that we think actually really makes a difference for our customers and ultimately makes them more effective when they have an expert at their side. So wanting to show up in this project in a way that shines the light on the unique expertise we offer isn't just a creative decision or a stylistic choice because we like it. It's actually putting a spotlight on what makes us unique in the market. And so because we're, the longtime leader in this space, we actually have the world's most robust philanthropic data set. That's what we're using to create these free resources and research that we're offering to the market. And so as showing up as an expert source, as a source of trusted resources for our market, we're actually showing up as who we really are, and hopefully helping make it easier for folks as they're trying to understand the lay of the land in this market, and what differentiates us.
Yeah, I love that. I love the authenticity in that too. It's that's great. And Nigel, from a creative perspective, you touched on when we were talking about the project itself, blending innovation as while maintaining true to a brand. But could you talk a little bit more about just how do you generally approach a project, knowing that these things need to align? You need to inject those fresh ideas, but still align with a client's business strategy.
Yeah, the prettiest thing in the world can exist and not work at all.
Right.
We needed to do something that did a few, wore a few different hats. Something that felt beautiful, felt elegant, but really met that business strategy. Knowing that we needed to show up and present ourselves as experts, and the wealth of knowledge that Blackbaud Institute is providing, again, for free. We wanted to make sure that every last detail mattered. Every image choice, every color selection is crucial to how we show up and what that presence actually looks like. I think that one of the things that we had a great sort of head start on was that experience, right? We were making sure that the experience itself was simple, was digestible. Every design decision we make should not be a distraction. It should be a way for to propel someone forward deeper into the experience so they get the information they're looking for. So, a lot of the design choices and a lot of the ways we approach a lot of creative projects is about speed, is about efficiency. How are we getting people to the information they're looking for as soon as possible? And that was not lost on us in this project.
Yeah. And then, so, to kind of summarize then this, both of your views on this alignment, how would you characterize this project and its alignment with those views of both the branding, business strategy, and alignment, and those goals there?
I mean, I'd characterize it as a success. I feel like we did it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we had a clear idea in mind of what it would look like to be successful. We had our goals really clearly documented, and we're seeing really great response from folks who come to this site. They're excited about the resources they're finding. We're bringing new audiences who've never been here before. They can immediately understand what we're offering, and they're accessing the resources. And at the end of the day, I think the thing that really just lights me up about that is that these resources, this free research that we're providing, this helps folks who run nonprofit organizations do their jobs better. It's resources that help people who are making our communities safer, making our world greener, making our schools effective and impactful. Like we're giving those people the stuff they need to get their job done in an easier way. So yeah, I'm just delighted that it landed where it did.
Yeah, I love it. Any lessons learned, key lessons learned from the project?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us on this project, just from the outset, we viewed each other more like a virtual team and less like a client and an agency. And so being really connected and treating each other as partners, I think enabled us to go further and go faster than we otherwise would have. And of course, I think that's, only really feasible when you have a partner that you can view as a shared steward of your brand identity. So somebody who's not pushing for the sake of pushing, but is coming alongside you to steward that core identity while uncovering new facets of it.
Yeah, and I think that trust that's built through that stewardship is incredibly important, especially when you're taking liberties and trying new things out within a brand construct. Thinking about the Blackbaud Institute as a connection and extension of the overall Blackbaud brand, we had to know everything there was to know about the existing brand. not just visually, but tonally. How does the tone of the brand find its way into a visual experience like this? I think that the legacy information we had about the brand, the development of a lot of the components you see within all the experiences we've worked on really put us at a great in a great position to not only take those liberties but come at them from an objective standpoint and really share our insights from a rooted and grounded place, as opposed to a subjective one. So I think, thinking about the collaboration, there were a lot of work shares, a lot of in progress shares, and I think there's a lot of value to that. No big surprises. I
Mhm.
think that we were in lockstep in every decision, down to the serif font that you see on the current experience. There was a lot of back and forth about what makes the most sense there. And I think the strength of the collaboration and just the transparency around why we made the decisions that we made was crucial. We have to say why. I think that's what a lot of creatives forget about, and I think that's something that our team doesn't ever forget about is why we were making the decisions we were making. I think that was crucial to the success of this project.
Yeah, if I could just tack one thing on to what you just said, Nigel, that I think also contributed to the success. There was never a surprising reveal. I think sometimes there's a temptation, especially in creative work, to really want to wow your audience by, whipping the curtain off something that is going to feel completely fresh and new. But the truth is, people need to be along for the journey, and it takes vulnerability and trust in that partnership to do exactly what you said, to show the work in progress. I think that was one of the things actually that enabled us in this project, again, to go as quickly as we did and take it as far as we did in a way that felt comfortable for everybody. It was not about big reveals. It was about inspiring individual moments that connect to make something bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, I mean, that shows true collaboration. It also shows
Mhm.
a more agile way of working, which I'm certainly a fan of here on the Agile Brand podcast. But but yeah, I mean, I think it's nice when the big reveal goes really, really well. But to your point, I think surprise is overrated in these things, and
Mhm.
collaboration and communication are definitely key. And it's just great to hear that this project was successful, and to kind of build on that, beyond the initial success of alignment and feeling the brand is really being translated into something great. Let's talk about measures of success as well. And so, Lori, I'll start with you. And can you describe some of the impacts that you've seen, observed, measured from this work, from aligning Blackbaud Institute's branding more closely with business strategies?
Yeah, so we soft launched the updated web experience earlier this quarter, but our broader kind of public launch, we connected with the release of a new research report that we just put out on Gen Z and how they think about giving back. And so when we released that report, basically we saw our year over year traffic to the site is up nearly 200%.
Wow.
We saw thousands of downloads on the report. Hundreds of new contacts. Our reporting is also receiving coverage from major sector news outlets in our space, which of course, speaks to the quality of the research, but it also speaks to the credibility of the home for the research. And so we're really excited that we're able to kind of cut through the noise and draw attention again to these resources that we do think are going to be meaningful to the folks who ultimately access them and help them have more confidence as they make challenging decisions in their jobs.
Yeah, yeah. And Nigel, you've talked about how your team takes a thoughtful approach in the design and approach here. But how do you measure success of a branding project, or a project like this, in terms of its contribution to business strategy?
Happy client. No, I'm just kidding.
That
I think
never hurts.
yeah, that's definitely an important part of it. I think the shared vision I talked about is crucial, right? We need to
Yeah.
be on the same page to launch something that we feel is successful as a group. But I feel like the success of a project like this hinges on the performance of it, the simplicity of of the experience is why it's effective. The use of a dark blue over a dark a darker richer black. I don't know if that moves the needle, but I know that the way we present these patterns and the way that we present the navigation and the ease of use is why performance is up, and the access to the robust information that Blackbaud is providing is a testament to that as well. I think the shared partnership of an effective user experience and the information that they're receiving is a real testament to the performance there. It's got to work. Users have to care about it. If they don't, then we failed. Are they learning from it? Are they gaining some sort of value? What's the value add through the design? If we're not contributing to that, then it's a failure. And I think we've done a really nice job of making sure that the design, elegant design, refined design was just as important as how it performed.
Yeah, that's great. Well, as we conclude here, Lori and Nigel, what advice would each of you give to other organizations that are looking to undertake something similar, better alignment of branding with business strategies and a digital presence?
Yeah, I mean, be a good partner. I think that's the first part. It sounds a lot simpler, than it is. I think for a lot of creatives, I think this is sort of as a designer myself, we kind of look at these moments as as fresh opportunities to inject ourselves into the work and try to move a brand in a certain direction that we feel would be good for them. And it really forces you to be truly mindful of the choices you make. Again, asking why we're doing something. There is part of it, where you're trusting your instincts, your knowledge of the brand. You understand the function, you understand how it works, you understand the strengths, the application of things. That's a part of it, but also kind of marrying that with your instincts is crucial, just as a creative. But being mindful, thoughtful of the decisions you're making, ask why, and really seeing how far we can push things in a thoughtful way.
That's awesome, Nigel. I totally resonates for me. I think, I don't know that I have any like super secret surprise advice that you couldn't think of yourself already if you're listening to this podcast, but I'll just underscore like the idea that feedback is a gift, that we built so much time into this process to bring in more feedback, because we recognize right from the beginning that like anytime you work on something like this, if you're the subject matter expert, you know about the program, that's actually going to make it so hard for you to understand how somebody without that context is going to experience the information that you're putting out. And so slowing down at the beginning in order to get a lot of internal and external feedback on what we were putting together actually enabled us to move more quickly at the end. Like we always say, feedback is a gift. Once you start getting too many gifts, you got to find a place to put them. And so, but we do want to treat that feedback as the gift that it is, and make sure that we're just being thoughtful about taking the time and doing the right things with the feedback. And this has been a really great experience to just slow down and look back on a successful project instead of moving right on to the next thing. So thanks so much, Greg, for creating the space for us to take a look at this. And it's really been a pleasure to have this conversation today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And I thought that was great advice. So for what it's worth. So again, I'd like to thank Lori Poer, Senior Director, Global Brand at Blackbaud, and Nigel Dennis, Group Creative Director at the Office of Experience, for joining the show. You can learn more about their project and view the new digital presence of the Blackbaud Institute by visiting institute.blackbaud.com, and learn more about the Office of Experience by going to officeofexperience.com. Thanks again for listening to The Agile Brand, brought to you by Tech Systems. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to subscribe and leave us a rating so that others can find the show more easily. You can access more episodes of the show at www.gregkillstrom.com. That's GregKihlstrom.com. While you're there, check out my series of best-selling Agile Brand guides covering a wide variety of marketing technology topics, or you can search for Greg Kihlstrom on Amazon. The Agile Brand is produced by Missing Link, a Latina-owned, strategy-driven, creatively fueled production co-op. From ideation to creation, they craft human connections through intelligent, engaging, and informative content. Until next time, stay agile.
The Agile Brand.